Hello, good morning. This is Patrick. I wanted to do something a little lighter than some of the heavier items I did. Just food for thought, those past videos. I wanted to talk about, again, I'm revisiting some frequency, vibration on the foods and water we drink. And, some people, for example, in the dog food, when you give bad dog food to a dog for a couple of years, you're going to go visit the vet. The person who's eating the better food will not go to the vet. That's generally true. And anyway, I'm going to do something very unusual. I'm going to look at, let's look at wine, all right? So there's a wine out there. I already doused it, but I do have my dowsing, and I do have this. And we're going to take, what we're going to find is something really unusual. So let's say a brand. You can buy it. Now, I don't drink. I haven't for many, many years. But I grew up in a household with alcohol. And the cheaper wine was something like, okay, Carlo Rossi. Carlo Rossi, when I douse it for 1995, give me Carlo Rossi, please. All right, 1995, please. 1995. It's basically a 4, which means it's okay. You can drink it. There's no poisons in it, toxicity, to make you sick over time. But it's not a great wine. It's not a high vibration, but it's acceptable. There's no over toxicity. Could you give me Carlo Rossi right now? All right. You get like 4 liters for whatever it is. $18. Okay, right now it's okay, it's less than 1 star. Let's drill down. Okay, it's about point you can't get so poisonous. 0.1 of a star. They went from 4 stars. So it's actually an economical table wine. If you go to Europe, you have a table wine. They bring you out a carafe. In the old days, they did. And there'd be little nuggets of stuff floating around in it. Uh, excessive quantities of wine is not good. But having a couple glasses, I showed you can, moderation is okay. And it's probably health benefits according to the French. But the table wine is always acceptable. It's just cheap. That's the idea. It's table wine, but it's acceptable. And Carlo Rossi went from an economical table wine, cheap, to really highly toxic. All right? And now you go to something like that black box Chardonnay, please. Now this is for being a wine. It doesn't mean this is food or anything to abuse it. So they're saying, compared to the other wines, and for what it is, it's like a 6. All right? It's like a 6, 6.5. So there's your difference. You get a high vibration wine, you can probably have a glass or 2, and after a couple of years, you're not going to be sick from that product. But if it's at 0.1, that's totally toxic. If you did that for a year or 2, you're going to have manifestations of physical problems, and we'll have to take you to the veterinarian. And anyway, so here's also, I'm just jumping around. So for the beer, it's really like that. If you're drinking Budweiser, what's the other one? So Budweiser, could you give me Budweiser, please? Okay, no, give me Lowenbrau, the one that's made in Germany, please. Lowenbrau. Okay, thank you. It's a 6. Give me Heineken. Heineken. It's about a 6.5. All right. Could you give me Budweiser, made in St. Louis, please? Okay. Is it under 1? Yes. Could you give me what it is? 1. There's 1. Okay, it's 0.4. 0.4 Budweiser. Coors is a 3. Okay, that's 3. It's almost acceptable. A little bit on the negative. And what's another one? Miller, whatever it's called. Highlight. Miller. Wow. Is that under 1, please? Yes. Could you give me the score? So Miller is 0.7. Could you give me Budweiser again? Budweiser. 0.2. God, they're awful. That's awful. About Schlitz. Under 1. Really, really, I can just, God, this is even worse. Can you go under 1, please? 0.1. That's really toxic. So I just wanted to show you that if you find yourself, you have to buy generic in the alcohol business, it's really toxic, especially now compared to 20 years ago. That it's really become acceptable. I bet you, what was Budweiser in 1995? Let's go check. Budweiser in 1995, please. Yeah, it's 4. It's a 4. So these changes, the degradation of our diet, that's just an indicator, all right? By all means, if you do have a glass of wine or a beer, a few every night or something, drink the better quality if you can afford it. This the lower end is just not good right now. It's like they're trying to kill off all the poor people. Now here's something. Mountain House. I bought this several years ago, maybe 10. I used to have a backpack more than I do now. I enjoyed it a lot. It's my downtime. And these things are very helpful. They're kind of awful in a way. You add hot water, it's all dehydrated. So when I look, okay, when this came out, could you give me the vibration, please, for this as a food? Now we're going from alcohol to, so it's not similar. Okay, this food, if you ate it every day, it's a negative. It's a -3. I mean, so this is a 3. So it's recommending you don't eat this, even when it's fresh. And what is it right now? What is this right now? It said, when does this expire? This expires in 2013, all right? So it's still good. It expired in 2013, so it's still good. I went from a 3 to basically less than 1. It's under 1. What is it? So half a star. So this really deteriorated since the expiration date a lot. That's interesting because a lot of them I eat after the expiration, but I'll douse it. But this product, if I douse it, this is really iffy. Something happened. It has good packaging, but it's only 5 years after the expiration date. But it said don't eat it. This is really bad. So anyway, why is it only a 3? One, when you dehydrate or freeze dry food, you kill it. You kill the life force, and that's in dog food and human food too. As emergency food, it's okay. If this was a 3 and it's an emergency food, I'm gonna have a beef stew. You're gonna appreciate it. You know, you're gonna have food in your cupboards. I would say it's okay. You know, you're only doing it for a few days. If I had to eat this every day for a year, I would get physical manifestations of toxicity. I would start getting sick. Just like that, you know, the movie on McDonald's, and after like a couple weeks, he ate Big Macs every day, and he goes oversize it. I think was a movie, and after 3 weeks, he started to get physical manifestations of illness. You know, blotchy skin. I mean, it'll come out, and it's the same. What I'm saying for all these foods, if you find yourself and you have to eat and drink inferior water. Now, the water supply, for example, of LA is like really toxic. It's half a star, which means it's not mean you're getting water. They're putting chemicals in the water, and this is beyond just fluoride and what's the other one? The other one, chlorine. There's other things. I get there's 5 in all in LA, and it used to be a good water that used to come from the Sierras and some around lakes, Mono Lake, and things like that. It goes to in 1970, that water was a 5. Not only was that water acceptable, it was better. It was like, oh, it's okay. It's kind of a good water. And if you drank out of the water, no matter what district you were in LA in 1970, the city limits I'm talking about, it was good water. Now it's toxic. It's totally toxic. So look at all the things right around the spectrum. Camping, alcohol, all your food, your processed are all very low. And if you're not buying the better brands, this is now compared to 25 years ago, it's changed. If you're buying the lower brands, it's like they're trying to get you sick. That's what this is saying. They're trying to get you sick. Now, after I douse all, I was going through the ingredients on this. This is just for your FYI. And this particular product has, okay, potatoes is the first ingredient. And then, boom, look at this. The fourth ingredient is corn oil. Holy cow. And we saw corn oil for humans is like a 2. It's not good for humans. Modified cornstarch. What? Hydrogenized corn torula. What? Wheat gluten. Soy protein. What? Anything else? Soybean oil. I would say half the ingredients of this is all toxic. You know? But over here, how much protein do we get out of this? We get 250 calories for half the package. 19 grams of protein. You can have a glass of milk, you get 8 grams. Milk is much better for you than this. This is totally toxic. But I wanted to show a few things with this. Dehydrating food, all right, for the short term, okay. For the long term, you're going to keel over. But for some reason, this is just an indicator. All the foods right across the board, and it shows up in the dog food. Something happened in about 1990 through 2000. They just started poisoning the food. They just started making lower quality. And if you have to budget, if you're on a budget and you're going to the supermarket and you're buying all these generic brands, they're probably really bad for you. You're probably gonna get physically sick, and you're gonna have to make that decision. What do I consume every day, and how I can get the quality up a bit? All right. You don't have to buy the top brand. You don't have to buy organic. It's like the olive oil. Okay, the olive oil organic is a 10. It's a superfood. Organic oatmeal. It's a superfood. So I get regular oatmeal. It's an 8. All right, 6, 7, or 8, depending where the oats were grown. It changes. On the olive oil, they cut it, right? They cut it with cheaper oil, bad oil, the stuff that doesn't do too good. So what does it come out at? It comes out at 4. Well, you know what? 4 is okay. 4 you can live with, and it's significantly less than the better quality olive oils, all right? You're going to have to make those decisions. If you can eat the better quality olive oil, use it sparingly, you're going to glow. You're going to glow like a Christmas tree. And so it's just like that movie on McDonald's. If you eat nothing but McDonald's every single day, in 3 to 4 weeks, you're going to look like a basket case. You're going to be ill. You're going to be sickly. I mean, that's what it's all about. And all these foods are like it. And if you're forced to eat it for a year, you're going to be in pretty bad shape. Doesn't mean you can't go to McDonald's or anything. Occasionally, in moderation, everything is like fun. You want to go and see people, have a Big Mac. That's Americana. But McDonald's, you remember we compared to that back to 1960s, 1970s. That was a great hamburger. It was a really good, it was a 6. It was really high. And now, I'll end with that. What is a McDonald's today? A Big Mac is, what does it vibrate at? A Big Mac vibrates today at, I can't remember what I said before. I'm doing this quickly. Is it more than 1? Where is McDonald's? I can't see it, but it's in the loan range. I'm going to just say it's between 1 and 1.5. All right. Uh, so that's a big change. Again, the quality of the food when I was a kid was much better. The milkshakes were all milk product in it, you know. Now you can make it, they make a milkshake and it's all sugar. I don't know how they do it. It's sugar and soy. Soy is critically bad for you. Just avoid it. Everything to do with corn, avoid it. Uh, and wheat is okay. Wheat is a neutral. It's not going to kill you as long as it's good quality. They don't put too many herbicides on it. And it's a good storage food for emergencies. I'm just kind of doing this, catching up, because I thought the whole point of this video was the alcohol is really bad right now. It's not just the alcohol you have to drink in moderation, but when you just approach it for what this is, a glass of wine, it's toxic. It's like half a star. It will make you sick, and it's not even because of the alcohol. We're not even having that discussion. We're having the additives they have put into that. And in Europe, I remember they used to put fluoride in it. Anything to give it a little twang. And you're trying to put the fruit. What do they call it? The Everclear, the fruit, the peach sugar, alcohol in there. They ferment that and they put it in there and they cut it to give you a cheaper table wine. The table wines in Europe used to be okay. You have a glass of wine, in France with your lunch. They're giving you a decent product. Not now. Everything on the lower end of the budget. If you're there, my eggs. I did this one the other day. Safeway egg, please. Okay, the Safeway egg is that less than 2? So it's less than 2 vibration. All right. Could you show Patrick's eggs? Patrick's eggs on average. Patrick's eggs on the farm. I'm like 8.5 stuff. My eggs are super. You can live forever on the egg that my chickens produce, and I let them loose. They go in they go out on the leaves and they find the worms and everything. They take casualties from the bobcats and everybody, but lately I've been okay, and they've been producing really beautiful eggs lately, and I'm eating like 5 eggs a day, and it's great, and I'm getting tired of it, but it's free protein and calcium. It's a high vibration. It's not going to clog up all my cholesterols. It's all nonsense. Almost everything that's good for you, from the farm days, they said it's going to make you sick. It's all misinformation. And your dowsing for your particular genetics will help you pick out your food. That said, almost all the cheap food produced in the supermarket is pretty bad nowadays. If you have to buy the store brand, you're going to be in a dicey situation health-wise. Okay, thank you, and I appreciate it. Bye-bye.